AP Calculus, I felt like I was spending so much time at the board doing these lectures, and students had so many questions, and I felt a lot of anxiety in the classroom. And that was probably the biggest thing that prompted me to change, because I always felt anxious in math class also, even though math was always my favorite subject. Just because I think of the nature of a lot of math classes is that, you know, you get lectured for a long time, and then you go home and you have to do all these problems that you didn't have a chance to kind of tackle on your own in the classroom yet. And then you come into class the next day with questions, get lectured on more stuff, and, you know, sometimes it can feel overwhelming because of that format. And so I went to this technology conference, and the summer after, I was feeling like I needed a change in my classroom. And when I was there, I just learned about screencasting in general. And I was like, you know what? That is the solution to my problem. I'm going to just make a bunch of videos and see how the class goes with it. And so I started just there. Flipping wasn't getting the hype yet. And so it was just kind of a problem that I had, and I was looking for a solution. So I said, hey, for chapter 2, it's a review unit anyway. We're going to just start with the video, and then in class, we're going to do a bunch of problems together. And everybody loved it. And so we just did the whole year like that. Like, I never stood at the board to introduce a lesson. I don't want to say, I think a lot of people get confused about, like, my philosophy at least is every day we do stuff at the board. I really value that time. But now we get into, like, the discussion, the deeper stuff, because they've already previewed the video once before. And so that was my journey to it. And then in AP Calculus, it was very, very successful from the beginning. When I rolled it down to 9th and 10th grade, I wasn't initially probably as careful as I needed to be about communicating to parents what this meant, because that's a really, really important part of teaching K-12, especially, the lower grades. So 11th and 12th grade, I wasn't having much, but 9th and 10th grade, it was very important to explain to parents what was happening. And now there's obviously greater awareness about what the flipped classroom means, but just very careful to explain that it's not about students learning all this material on their own and that's it. And then maybe me helping them with problems in the classroom. No, it's really, to me, the most important learning happens in the classroom. And now it's better learning that happens in the classroom because it's really coming from them, and a much more student-centered approach.
And I've heard you talk about this in the past, and I recall that one of the things that you really liked about this approach was that it gave you more time during class to actually interact with students one-on-one in small groups.